Perfect. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Making Waves, a Lakehouse Studios podcast. I have my friend Dillon here. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. And Dillon, tell us more about your background. Tell us about your business and what you do.
Well, first of all, JJ, this is awesome. I've seen the famous Lakehouse Studios before, so being here is awesome. So I appreciate you a lot.
Well, we're honored to have you here.
Thank you, brother. I guess a little bit about me. I own Gold Pro Media. It's a podcast consulting and management company. I started in insurance back in 2018, and then I started my own podcast 2 years ago, and then it kind of took off, and now my life looks a little different. So That's the high-level overview, very quick version of the story.
Yeah, well, tell us about, what inspired you to get really into podcasting? What does it entail? How do you help customers? I want to hear all about it. I'm sure anyone watching this wants to hear the same thing.
Yeah. So I always loved making content. Back in 2020, my wife bought for me a PlayStation 4.
Ooh.
Okay?
Yeah.
I never owned one. I had a PlayStation 2. The world shut down, and so my wife's like, hey, Christmas, hey, this is for you. I like this game called NBA 2K. Okay? It's a really fun game, and I'm actually pretty good at it. I wasn't allowed to play shooter games growing up.
Yeah.
And so I just play sports games. And my wife, I was joking with my wife. I was just joking. I said, I win all the time. I never lose. I play online, And she's like, have you heard of this thing called Twitch? And I'm like, no. I'm like, what's Twitch? Like Twitch, what is Twitch? And she's like, it's like a live streaming thing, and people can pay money to play games.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And so I look into it, and sure enough, there's a whole ecosystem of people that play video games and get paid for it. So when the world shut down in, February, March of 2020, I created a Twitch channel that no one knows this. This is secret stuff. And started playing game, made money, sold merch, made a couple grand just playing video games. And what that did for me was I love entertaining people.
Yeah.
It showed me that I love being on camera. I love entertaining people. This is fun. I love giving clean fun to people that they could watch the stream. There's no cussing. There's no swearing. And it was just a really fun community. I had kids asking their parents to buy my merch for their Christmas. It was just a really fun time. But it's not something I want to do the rest of my life. It was just a little time period. I was just thinking through man, we have kids. Do I really want them just to watch dad play video games for 12 hours a day? I'm like, I think God has called me for more than that. Right? So then I pivoted and I started a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That was my goal of it was to make a finance YouTube channel where, because I love budgeting, I love investing, I love that kind of stuff. And I was going to make, 10-minute videos edited really tight. And it was going to be, that was like Graham Stephan or that kind of type content. Then turns out editing's really hard. And I realized my computer couldn't even handle Adobe Premiere. Oh. It kept crashing. So I made 3 videos and quit.
Yeah. Oh.
Fast forward 2 years later, I had a friend that started a landscape company. It failed, and he started again, and it succeeded. And I thought, that's real entrepreneurship.
It is.
Not the Lamborghinis, not all the stuff you see online. That's the grit, the grind, the persistency, the failure, the learning. I'm like, man, that dude should hop on a podcast and tell a story. I told him that.
Yeah.
And we didn't know anyone that had podcasts. And then my wife was like, again, my wife is just smart. You're going to sense the theme of me talking about my wife because she's just awesome.
Yeah.
And she's like, why don't you start a podcast? And I'm like, the only podcast that I even knew existed was Joe Rogan's. And I didn't even listen to it. I just knew it was a thing because I wasn't really a podcast listener. And I happened to have some old microphones from when I made some music. Yeah. And when I was streaming Twitch, so I had a Canon camera. I had a Canon M50, which, by the way, has a 30-minute record limit.
Yes.
Which I figured out the first time I recorded a podcast. And so every 30 minutes, I had to, hit the button again, re-record, and all that stuff. So I had my buddy Derek on. He told his story, and I had so much fun. And I remember finishing that podcast episode. I called my wife, and I said, I want to do this the rest of my life. I don't know how, but, talking to people like this.
Yeah.
Sharing that conversation with people like that, I loved this.
Yes.
And that's where the dream was born of I want to figure out how to make money doing this. So my first year of podcasting, I released 12 episodes, one a month. Yeah. Because again, trying to figure out how to edit, Then I tried to hire a team, but I didn't really have the budget for it. So I could do like one a month.
Yeah.
And then so I made so many mistakes my first year, bought wrong gear, didn't know how to maximize sound, and I made all the mistakes. And then, the second year of my podcast, it kind of took off on YouTube, and I've been blessed to have people on from celebrities to billion-dollar CEOs, NFL athletes. Like next year's slate, we already have some of my dream guests are coming on the podcast, and so then it's just taken up a form of its own. And so, yeah.
That's so awesome. Well, I will say, I check out your media all the time, and as you know, I like everything and I watch everything. It's incredible just what you've built. And to me, my philosophy is if you're passionate enough about something, you could turn it into a business. You could definitely like make it turn into something more. It's more about just having that passion, having that determination, and also strategically trying to figure out a game plan of like, it's going to take some trial and error, but once we have that game plan down, like how can we push this to actually make it into something more? Yeah. And I will say you've definitely done that, so good for you.
And it's not been me. I've had a lot of mentors in my life. Got to shout out Mike Gruley, who's the EOS implementer in Michigan. Yeah. My dad and my wife. But like, I remember this past summer, about a year ago, I started a video editing company called with a friend named Trevor called GoPro Media. And the concept of that company was to create retainer-based video editing. So you pay us one fee and you get unlimited edits for your company.
Yeah.
And the company did fine, and I was still working at Aflac and trying to juggle my podcast, and then this past May, my son was born, our second kid, and
Which, congratulations!
Thank you, and love him to death. Although he's not sleeping right now, so I love him a little less.
Right.
Right. I love him a lot. Just like him a little less. That's the word. And I had a couple businesses being like, "Hey, man, how do we start podcasts?"
Yeah.
And you know what I did? I kept just helping them.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, here you go. And my buddy Mike really like, hey, you realize you have a business here? And I was like, huh. He's like, you have knowledge that people don't have.
Yeah.
They have a problem that you know how to solve it.
Yeah.
And then you charge that. That's actually how business like happens, right? Business is literally someone has a problem, you know how to solve it, you charge for that. There you go.
Exactly.
And so, and then this podcast consulting business. And so really what I'm doing most of my life and week now is I help companies start podcasts, and then we manage them and make sure they function and run. And that's where we're at now. And so I just spoke for CreatorCon this past weekend. And to me, what I love about podcasting is you just don't know the doors it's going to open.
Exactly.
And dream big, like I was just an insurance dude. And fast forward a year later, like I'm blessed to own a couple businesses, and which sounds way cooler than it is, dude. It actually is just you're just poor with stress. That's all that really is.
Yeah.
It sounds cool, but it just changed my life. And so I just encourage people, business owners, even just individuals, like what's that thing that is in the back of your mind that you should do, but you've been afraid to do it? And I just try to always encourage people, just make the leap. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such an awesome story. So kudos to you for all your hard work. It definitely shows, and I notice that.
Thank you.
And I know other people notice it too. And like you're building your dream. And that's so important. And I give lectures all the time, as well as like I coach some individuals. To me, again, my philosophy is if you're passionate about something, don't worry about the money and like everything else and like the customers. They're going to come to you. Yeah. It might take a little bit of time. You might have to do some like trial and error and refining some things. But in due time, everything does work itself out. Yeah. And even just like talking to individuals, and I'm sure you've had this happen. I mean, just like some startup entrepreneurs, just like, oh my gosh, like, I have this idea, and, that they may work at a job that they may not necessarily love, but I'm just like, why don't you do this? Like, it's just like, oh, well, I'm so scared. And I think that's part of the entrepreneur. Like, you get the cold feet of just like, oh, am I going to fail? Well, to me, unless you take that chance and take that leap of faith, like you'll never know.
You'll never know.
Yeah. And yeah, most likely there's going to be some things that like we all mess up. Like I will admit when I started my business in 2010, there are some things that I definitely messed up, but I learned from it. It's how we grow by stepping outside our comfort zone. That's how we learn and evolve as people. And over time, hey, like we're doing this podcast now, and hey, we've been in business for a while, so like I'm glad I took that leap of faith. Yeah. And I tell that to any entrepreneur, and I will say you're doing a great job. I'm glad you took that leap of faith, and I'm glad you're helping others too.
You should tell my wife that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, and I appreciate you a lot, and it's been fun watching you work and your stories. And when we met for lunch, just hearing your passion for what you do. And
Thank you.
I mean, obviously, the fact you've had clients just stick with you just shows that you love what you do and you love them, and so you're awesome too, man. I appreciate the compliment a lot.
I appreciate it. Likewise.
And I do think you're right. I think people need to learn to fail.
Yes.
And it's okay.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean you're a bad person.
Exactly.
And failing doesn't mean you're a failure.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense? Like,
yes.
Now, I think you're a failure if you fail and you give up and you choose to learn no lessons from it.
Yes.
Then you're a failure.
Yeah.
But if you fail and you choose to learn lessons, you choose to move forward, you choose, then you didn't just fail, you're a learner. And you just keep learning.
Exactly.
And that's, I definitely, one of my issues, is that the word? I ride my highs really high. I'm just like a naturally emotional guy. Like, I cry in Disney movies. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I watched Frozen 2. Funny story. I watched Frozen 2 for the first time on a plane to Vegas next to my boss.
Yeah.
Okay? In 2020, my wife's father had just passed away, so we're all kind of emotional.
Aww.
And I'm watching Frozen 2. It just came out. And then there's this part at the end of the movie, and I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but it's a heartwarming moment. And I just start like sobbing. I'm a grown man sobbing to Frozen next to my boss. That just shows you how.
Yeah.
He just looks at me like, he sees me crying and he's like, you're watching a kid's movie. I'm like, shut up. It's a good moment. But like, I ride my highs high. I ride my lows low. And one of the things I've learned over 8 years of entrepreneurship, I've been 100% commissioned since we've been married, is just because you're in a low,
yeah,
the worst thing you can do is just ride that low and learn nothing from it.
Exactly.
Like, you need to always be trying to, like, what lesson is God trying to teach me here?
Yeah.
Like, why am I in this position? Not just be like, oh man, business is slow. And it's like, well, yeah, you haven't left the house in 6 days. No wonder why business is slow, right?
Exactly.
So that's one thing that I've learned is, if things aren't going well, the first thing I need, like, what lesson do I need to learn right now?
Yes. Tailcode off of what you're saying right now. I almost forgot. Normally we have a little nosh. Part of this is, to me, food is the one thing that kind of like connects us all. And
Amen.
For every podcast, I like to do that.
Look at me.
Yeah. Right. So I did bring some edamame for us to try. And this is your first time trying it,
I've
right?
never had edamame before.
Okay. So basically, it's like a green bean. All you do is just kind of bite it into it.
Okay.
And
you just get the bean part out. Like, you don't eat the green.
Correct.
The green thing. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna get this one. Looks like a good one.
And if you don't like it, you could totally tell me you don't like it. It's totally fine. But
so you don't eat the green part, really?
Correct. You just kind of like pull like the bean parts out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a fun little snack. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but feel free to help yourself. But while you're chewing on that, and what do you think? Okay, all right.
It's a little work to kind of figure out how to like. I kind of like cheated and like ripped the end off.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Do you like edamame? She does. There's a secret person behind the cameras.
Yeah. I was gonna say Sam, who's running the cameras right now.
Sam
Sam is awesome. Yeah, thank you for being on the Lakehouse team. She loves edamame.
Would you like some edamame, Sam?
Yeah.
You come get some.
Later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're embarrassing Sam right now. But something with what you said to Dillon is, I see a lot of entrepreneurs that, again, they're afraid to make that leap of faith and to grow. So there's one gentleman, I help him all the time, super nice guy. One thing that I noticed, like helping him out for like the past few years, like when I started with him 2 years ago, I would talk to him and he's just like, I haven't had any new like business. And like, I helped develop your website. I helped develop your brand. I'm just like, well, what are you doing exactly? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, are you making phone calls too? Because like part of this, it's not like you sit back and just like everything happens for you. Like, you got to put some work into it. And to me, it's like agriculture. You need like plant seeds. You need to water the seeds. It's actually a lot of work before you could actually like get those fruit trees.
Those plants don't grow overnight.
Exactly. 100%. Rome was not built in a day. And talking to him.
Are you watching me just drop edamame everywhere? I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. I didn't see anything.
Clean up later. Nothing happened. Just ignore me.
Exactly. Yes. No, you're fine. You're fine. But talking to him, he's just like, oh, now that you did everything, like my website, media, and brand for me, it's just like I haven't done anything. I've just been sitting here. And I'm just like, Wait, what?
Right, because those things are tools.
Yeah.
Like if you make a hammer and the hammer doesn't just build a house.
Exactly,
Right.
100%. So I was trying to explain to him, it's just like, you just don't do these things and plateau and everything opens up for you. You have to get yourself out there. So that's why, like, I put together, like, your social media, like, record some videos, post them online, tag other businesses, get exposure so people know who you are in the business and the passion that you're trying to show the world.
Yep.
Because that's how you really got to get noticed. Like, I gave you tools to help, like, point you in the right direction, but you need to still, like, work at it. It's not just, like, again, a plateau where, like, oh, now that I've done this, I don't have to do anything else. No, being an entrepreneur is a constant work uphill, and I will say it is a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Even the first few years to me is the most challenging because you got to establish a foundation. There's a lot of trial and error. You got to figure out what's working, what's not working. And it's not till like even a few years down the road, like you really get things working. And even then it's not over. You still have to constantly work at it. And I know you get this. I know a lot of people watching this probably get this, but it is a challenge. And I know when people come to me, it's just like, oh, you're a multiple business owner. Things must be great. I kind of laugh and always say, well, it's a job like anything else, which is you have your good days, your bad days, you get a lot of curveballs. Even dealing with customers, you get a variety of different personalities. So it's like anything else, any other job.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, everything you said, I agree with 1,000,000%. The one thing I will say too, if you're an entrepreneur, just hang out with people smarter than you. Like you should never be the smartest person in the room consistently.
Yeah.
Learn from other people. Like that's one of the things in this, like with people like you, like we went out to lunch and I'm like, bro, you built an awesome business. Like,
thank you.
How do you do retainers? Like, hey, how do you do, like, cause it's new, you know, and having the humility, like to ask and always try, like, that's why I'm so grateful for certain people in my life that I can just call them and be like, is this like business idea stupid? Like poke holes in this. Like package, and that's something I encourage all young entrepreneurs or anyone, just like ask a lot of questions and find the people that you revere that have been successful and talk to them because people want to help you. Like there's a lot of people that believe that you're in this alone, and most of the time you're in this alone by choice.
Exactly.
And if you were just if you were just willing to ask and just put yourself out there to ask for help, there are tons of people willing to help you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's just like the fear. People are afraid of failure. And I think people see failure as almost like a permanent tattoo.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
People are going to perceive me this way. And I know when I first started off, I thought the same thing. I was really stubborn in the very beginning too, because I'm just like, oh, I can't like fail either because I don't want people to perceive me this way that like, I failed trying to like start a business. But then I realized, what, the only way to succeed is to be transparent. Transparent to my customers, transparent to like, my network, transparent to my community. And I like to call certain like community members, like my tribes, like people.
I've seen that on socials.
Yeah. So I realized that was the way to actually like go and succeed. And like, I can't just like close myself off from everyone else.
No. And the failure thing is so interesting because I resonate with that. Because one of the reasons why I didn't want to leave insurance, and I haven't left insurance, by the way. We still do it, but there was something in me that I'm like, until I didn't make it to the top 1% in my sales insurance company, I failed. And I like was holding on to this like, no, I can't leave this yet because I haven't hit the goals I came in here wanting to achieve. So I'm a failure. And I told my wife all the time, I feel like I failed in this career. Yeah. And this whole year, like it's actually been me learning that I haven't failed. In fact, I've learned so many lessons from this career that has allowed me to do what I'm doing now. Absolutely. And that without this career, I wouldn't like selling 100% commission supplemental insurance products and actually making a living off of that. That's hard.
Yeah.
Right. And so like learning how to cold call, like when I started, I was going in person to 20 businesses every single day.
Wow.
100 a week. When I started, I started in June, we were getting married in September. My wife was living in Virginia. Oh. We made $300 the month we got married in September.
Wow.
Yeah, you want to talk about regret? Ask my wife the first week of our marriage. She's like, "How are we doing on the budget?" I'm like, "Well, we made $74 this week." You know, It's like, okay, let me go back to Virginia.
Yeah.
And that just again this journey of like learning how to sell, and I'm still passionate, and we still have the practice, and Tom Poole is running it, and he's doing an amazing job. But like, I didn't want to like step into this new thing because I felt like I failed, and that just never was the case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. Like, I give you a lot of credit just for, I mean, your story, just like all the growth that you've done. And
I don't know, man. I'm still, I feel like I struggle with confidence. So thank you very much. I'll let you keep going.
There you go. Well, like anything else, like we just have to adapt to every situation because like life and time, like things are constantly changing. And we just have to change with them too. So we can't stay stagnant. We got to constantly keep on moving. So good for you for actually continuously growing, continuously trying to push your business forward.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that.
Again, kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was going to ask you too. I mean, just doing like podcasting instead of like traditional marketing. Can you tell me like a little bit more of just like the differences there?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
This is when we get the fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sam, how are we doing the podcast? You feel like it's fun so far? I'm breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
I was like, stop talking to me. I'm behind the scenes. I'll make a statement. Like, I am a believer that every business should have a podcast.
Yes.
Like, and when I say that, people are like, okay, like you're just saying that because you want to get sales. I'm like, no. Like, I firmly believe that every business should have a podcast, and here's why. So traditional marketing would be things like website, social media posting, billboards, commercials, like stuff like that, right? That's what you think of, like, did I miss any, like, kind of general?
Those are the general items, yes.
And you can get more with, like, niche campaigns, and you could, but that's just the general things. So this is what I love about podcasting. Number one, podcasting builds relationships.
It does.
More like any other vehicle in companies. It's like this, we're gonna have a tighter relationship after this conversation.
Exactly.
Right? And now I got to meet Sam, and I got to learn more about your place and all this stuff. Like, podcasting just allows you to build relationships, but it allows you to build relationships because, like, we could just go out for coffee and build a relationship. But the beautiful thing is these cameras and these mics, now there's actually a value exchange happening.
Exactly.
Because I come on, we're building a relationship, and now there's going to be a video. It's going to be clips. It's going to help me promote. It's going to help you promote. There's actually like more happening and like worth it to be done. So when it comes to a business, wanting to meet more ideal clients, wanting to meet partners, wanting to help their customers, it just develops relationships better than anything. And you have a value exchange called content.
Yes.
Okay. Secondly, you get to build an authentic relationship with your listeners and your customer base. So, hey, you're a business owner and you want your customers to know who you are. A podcast is one of the best ways to be authentic.
Absolutely.
You just get to talk. You get to see who people actually are. Not some highly edited 30-second commercial that people have no idea who you really are.
Exactly.
If you start a podcast, it's going to be really hard over 50 episodes of you talking for you to hide me.
For sure.
Right?
Sure.
And so when it just comes to building some sort of like authentic connection with your customer base, a podcast is a great way to do that.
100%.
And then also just when it comes to like, everyone knows they need to be posting video, right? But the first thing a lot of companies say is like, what do we post?
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, exactly.
So like one conversation could be a month's worth of content if you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times like clients will batch record. So in one day they'll do like 4 episodes or 6 episodes. They'll have 6 guests come in, do 30 to 45 minutes piece. You do a bi-weekly podcast, that's a quarter's worth of content.
Yeah.
You take each episode, make 5 to 10 clips per episode. You have a post a day.
Yeah.
Off of 1 day's of work.
Exactly.
So to me, like when I'm looking at like why your company should start a podcast, the pros list is so heavy.
Yeah.
And then we get into the sales side. Like a lot of times I teach companies to get their ideal clients on as podcast guests.
Yeah.
You know, I've done cold calls sales for the past 8 years. Like for statistically speaking, I would have to walk into 100 companies to close 1 to 5 meetings.
Yes.
That's a ton of volume.
It is.
I can almost guarantee you if I call those 100 companies and I said, hey, my name's Dillon England. I'm the host of Dillon England Show where I highlight local Detroit entrepreneurs and their story. I'd love to get connected with the owner. I'd love to get him on my podcast. I can almost guarantee you I'm closing 50 out of 100 on my podcast. Why? Because A, number one, people like talking about themselves.
Yes.
So you give them a platform to do that. And then B, people want that content exchange. Hey, when you come on, I'm going to post clips for you. Hey, this. And then, by the way, after the podcast, after you build rapport, I can be like, hey, so I own this insurance agency. Like, are you interested?
Yeah.
And that's how we've closed all our accounts this year, by the way, with Aflac. Like, I don't cold call anymore. I just use my podcast.
That's great.
And so, like, if you're a B2B company, using your podcast to get in front of your ideal clients is your podcast should be your number one sales tool. And so, like, there's just so many ways to slice it, whether you want to build credibility, exposure, sales. So, yeah, that's why I love it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about this, especially the first time we met. I'm a little bit more old-fashioned. I love building relationships, and that's one thing that sets us apart is I like getting to know you, both personally and professionally, especially if I'm going to help you out and work with you for the long run. I hope that we would take interest in each other and get to know each other, especially the more I understand you, the more I can understand like how to help you out and your goals and values.
Sure.
And same thing with podcasting, like you said, which is you get to see your authentic self. And I tell people that all the time, whether it's social media, doing promo videos, podcasting, be your authentic self because the right people are going to be drawn to you.
Yeah.
And if you fake who you are, like eventually people are going to know. Or I joke around with AI, especially if you voice over with Morgan Freeman, people are not going to know that that's
Like,
not
wait.
you.
You're a 30-year-old female. You sound like Morgan Freeman. What's happening right now?
Exactly. Even doing commercials, I've had some pushback with some customers, and I tried even telling them the same thing, which is be your authentic self.
Yep.
And you're not a professional actress, you're not Scarlett Johansson, or you're not Brad Pitt. And that's okay. If anything, that makes you more authentic to who you are. But tell the world who you are, tell them your business, show them who you are so people feel comfortable with you, getting to know you. And again, the right people are going to be drawn to you. You're going to get the right business and it's all going to work out. Just be your authentic self.
And just an ROI of time, right? Yeah. Like talk for an hour and people get to see who you are. Yeah. You have content. And like, that's why I'm just saying like every business should have a podcast because every business either needs exposure, credibility, or relationships.
Yes.
All three, yes. And then you could pick one that you might want. So like maybe JJ's like, I'm really in on the relationships. And maybe there's another podcast that like, they want to become a credible voice in the industry. They want to be seen as an expert.
Yes.
Well, a podcast is a perfect way to do that.
Exactly.
And so that's why like you could be like, how could a dentist start a podcast? Like I'll tell you, like I really believe almost any industry. And so that's our premise. And so then it yields the question, then why do 90% of podcasters fail after 3 episodes? Because they don't plan. And that's the business model.
Yeah, I was thinking that right now, which is I feel like some people don't really like go into depth with planning. Mm-hmm. Even when it comes to just like business and strategics, I try and ask people like, what are your long-term values and goals? Some people it's very surface level where it's just like, okay, like I've got step A. I'm like, good, step A could be done like pretty quickly. What's step B, C, D? Like, what's the long game? And they stop and realize, oh my gosh, I don't have a long game.
Yeah. My long game is a week.
Yeah. Or just like, oh, I saw like a few TikTok videos and I thought maybe I could get famous if I did like one podcast and whatnot. Right. Just like, can you? Possibly. Yeah. Like it's never 0% in my opinion, but also like, I think we got to do a little bit more than one video.
Close to 0%.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Something I was going to ask you too, can you tell me about like a success story about like how you were a hero to a customer, to one of your clients, and how like podcasting really like made a difference?
Yeah, so I'll tell you our first retainer client. This is a new company. Like I really started cooking it, putting it into motion in September of this year. Our first retainer client signed with us in October, and he was paying. I think we were about maybe 10% more expensive, 20% more expensive than what he was going. But his previous management company, they weren't posting on time. Oh. The edits were, like they weren't good edits. So like from the edits weren't good. The posting wasn't done on time. They were sporadic on communication. So yeah, we were a little bit more expensive. But our first month, like he was only getting about 900 views on YouTube, and our first month we did 6,000. Yeah. So that's whatever percentage increase that is. Yeah. And so his YouTube's up like a couple 100%. His LinkedIn is up, his Facebook is up. Everything's up because we came in with a plan. That's like, this is our content plan and we're going to stick to it. And so we've now had him for 2 months. We were 100% on target on all of our tasks. And as a result, like he actually hosted an event today. And, you know, people were like, hey, like, we've seen this guy's podcast. I'm like, yeah, like, we manage it. And it's just been good for him because now he doesn't have to worry about it. And the beautiful thing is the first month, they were very micromanaging because they were just so nervous about having bad management. And now they trust us. And they don't, it's one less thing for them to worry about.
That's great.
And so that was really fulfilling for us because it was our first client.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess that up.
Right.
And you know how I know that we did a good job? Because he renewed a second month.
Well, there you go.
You know, so that's just, you know, and one other thing I'll tell you is the strategy piece. So like anybody can just post content.
For sure.
Anybody could just edit a podcast. And I think the one thing that separates us is, number one, like I've done it myself and I'm doing it myself.
Yes.
There's podcast consultants out here that they don't even have podcasts. And I'm kind of like, you know, it's like, yeah, I am a NBA coach, but I've never even touched a basketball before. And you're like, that's kind of going to be kind of hard. You probably at least played some time in your life, you know what I mean, basketball. And so I think the one thing that really separates us is like, I'm doing it, I'm living it every day, I'm podcasting every day, I'm editing my own stuff, and I've seen what works. I'm learning every day myself, and so I can put into practice things on my own show, on my client shows, you know, whether it's how do you get celebrities on your podcast, or how do you just create an interesting intro? Those are the things that I'm struggling with my own show and always learning that we can pass on to our clients. So I think that's the one thing that really separates us is I'm actually doing it too.
Yeah. 100%. And I could see that too. And I will say, going back to something we talked about is building those relationships too, and also the trust factor.
Yeah.
Even starting off with like, you know, some new customers, I will say, the most important thing is building that trust, that you know that this is going to be a good relationship. You're going to have each other's back and you're going to work things out. And I can see that you're a people person, Dillon. So I could see without a doubt that that's one of the first things you do with helping people out and building that trust and growing with people. So good for you.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I'm kind of weird, dude. I'm like a sales has made me such an introvert.
Yeah.
I'm a one-on-one people person.
Yeah.
I thrive in these environments. You put me in like a 100-person group, I actually have to like force myself to get out of my comfort zone. Believe it or not, people look at me and they're just like, oh, you're outgoing, you're fun, you're whatever. Yeah. And I actually have to like, I wish I could just go home and eat ice cream and watch a movie with my friends. Like I don't want to be here. That's where sales has ruined me. But yeah, so that I don't know if you ever feel that way. But
I do. So I will say this. I'm good at public speaking. I get really nervous, though, when it's like a very large crowd, like over 100-something people where I have to give a speech. Then, like, in my head, I'm just like, JJ, you've done this a bunch of times, and like you're just doing your normal.
Like, why are you freaking out?
Yeah, why are you freaking out? And just like, is it to me? It's like the numbers. Like I know I'm just intimidated because I'm significantly outnumbered.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm just like, JJ, you gotta cut this out. Like you do this like all the time with like smaller groups and like one-on-ones. Like it's fine. But I think we just like, I don't know, we program ourselves in certain ways where it's just like, oh my gosh, like,
what am I doing?
Yeah, exactly. What am I doing? But then eventually, once when you like get into it, like with me, once when I get into
insane.
it,
Once I start, I'm golden. Like when I spoke at CreatorCon this past week, well, this is weird. I was told I was doing a workshop, so I planned a workshop.
Yeah.
And then I get there, and then I was like, no, you're on stage. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was planning like a little. Because they had side room workshops.
Yeah.
Then they had main stage, and then they had like in the vendor hall and the podcast playroom a second stage.
Okay.
And they're like, we want you to be there.
Yeah.
And then they had chairs on each side, but it was also in the middle of the vendor booths and podcast like sets that people were there. So it's like it was a really weird dynamic because you had the chairs full of people wanting to hear you speak, but then you had the vendors, all the people in the room still shopping at the same time.
Yeah.
So I thought I was going to be in this like 15-person workshop for 45 minutes where we were going to dive into podcasting or whatever. And it was a microphone, public speaking. So like when I saw what I was doing, I'm like, I have to redo everything. So I sat down, wrote down 8 points that I'm like, these are 8 things you need to know if you're starting a podcast. Made it up real quick, went on stage, and did it, and it went really well, and people seemed to really enjoy it. But I guess it's another lesson. You got to be flexible. You know, you got to be flexible.
You know? Definitely have to be flexible.
Yeah. That was terrifying. Because I got there early, and I was just like waiting for 2 hours. I'm like, oh man, I was not I told him because my wife was coming to record it. I'm like, I'm not ready for this at all.
Hey, understandable. And when you say workshop too, in my head, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But then, like, I check out your social media and try and like stuff all the time. I know that I've seen some clips and like some photos too. That I'm just like, wait a minute.
Dude, me too. That's the same reaction I had. I'm
Yeah.
like, this isn't a work. I'm speaking.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, dude. But it was a blast. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had a blast. I will say, from what I saw, you did a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
So, and without a doubt, I know that either way, you will adapt to the situation. You'll knock it out of the park. So I'm glad it worked out, and I knew you would again hit it out of the park. But I'm just like, oh my gosh, in my head right away, I'm like, workshop, what's going on here?
Shout out Rob Courtney, I love you. He puts on the event, but I literally called my wife and I said, I'm not doing a workshop. I'm speaking on stage. She's like, are you prepared? I'm like, I will be. So
love that.
So all my year, I joked. So I've always been a procrastinator my whole life at school. And my parents always be like, you gotta quit procrastinating, you gotta study. I'm like, no, I am honing a skill set.
Yeah.
And this sounds really bad, but like, I feel like my life of procrastination has, by the way, don't procrastinate, don't do what I'm doing. This is terrible advice, by the way. But like, there is something to being able to pull something together really quickly.
Yes.
And because I've done that a lot in school or I took a public speaking class in college. It was a level 400 class.
Okay.
And I pretty much prepped all the speeches like the morning of.
Oh, wow.
And so like I've just had that ability to do that. So, mom and dad, my procrastination
There you go.
paid off. No, don't listen to me, everyone. That's terrible advice.
Well, to a certain extent, I will agree with you. I personally, I work a little bit better under pressure, but realistic pressure.
Yes.
So if I have like a little bit of pressure on me, like it gets me a little bit more focused and like a little bit
tunes
more.
you in. Yeah.
Exactly. To where I'm just like, okay, I could really grind, get this cranked out. But with realistic pressure, now there's been some situations where I'll never forget this story. I had one of our clients downtown Detroit, and you know who you are. The daughter of the owner of the company and partial owner came to me saying, hey, we want you to like build a commercial for us like ASAP. And I'm like, cool, like, do we have a script or anything ready? No. I'm like, that's okay, I'll help you work on it. Like, when are you thinking? Like, like a month out? Just like, no, we want to film tomorrow and have this out like by Sunday. So like the day later. And I'm like, what? It's just like, yeah, and we're expecting you to do it like, and we're not taking no for an answer. And you know who you are. But just like,
how dare you?
We made it happen. Again, I could do things under like healthy pressure. That was not healthy pressure. That was more me scrambling.
But did you do it?
Yeah, I mean, we did.
I mean, hey, you did it.
Yeah, but the whole time I'm like, oh my God.
I will die.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm going to feel like a huge like weight off my shoulders.
I have had 7 strokes in 12 hours.
Exactly. And I will say, Dillon, the fact that I still have like my hair and I haven't gone all gray yet from just that alone is really impressive. And like, hey, I know who you know who you know who I'm talking to right now. Look at the camera.
How dare you put JJ?
Yeah, it's just like I still respect
Never
you
again.
but it's just like
I don't.
There's a reason why I told you after that, never again. We're giving this at least like a few weeks minimum out.
Yeah. Oh, but I mean, but there's still there's something about, man, when you're put in those pressure situations, just rising up. And I just think sometimes we get done things that we never thought we could have done.
Yeah.
And you look back, you're like, I don't even know how we did it, but we did it.
Exactly.
Exactly. And now you can. Not that you ever want to do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can.
If there's a will, there's a way. But do you want to constantly do it that way?
Probably not. Probably not.
That's a whole other debate.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, Dillon, I appreciate you coming out. Like, this has been awesome. But one thing I want to just bring up, one last thing, which is, what's the best way to get a hold of you, check out your business, see your podcast? Like, what can we do for you? We want to know.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So if you want to check out my podcast, it's just called The Dillon England Show, or just type in DillonEngland.com. You can check out all of my episodes. It's a variety entertainment podcast where we talk to business owners, celebrities, athletes, conspiracy theorists, politicians, all the things that we're not supposed to talk about, we talk about. And so I really enjoy just being authentic in speech, being free in speech, and just showing people it's okay to talk. And it's okay to talk with people you disagree with, you agree with, and that's the premise of the show. So if you enjoy that style, definitely come check it out. And if you want to work with us, if you're a business owner that's interested in starting a podcast, just follow me on Instagram. Just email me, Dillon@goldpromedia.com. Or again, just go to DillonEngley.com and fill out a contact form. So we'd love to work with you if that's something you're interested in. Or minimum, check out my podcast and subscribe, all those fun things.
Absolutely. And I highly recommend Dillon. Definitely check out his podcast, subscribe, contact him. Highly recommend him. And Dillon, thank you so much for coming out again.
Appreciate you, brother. All right. Thank you very much. All right. And hey, subscribe. Lakehouse Studios. Take care.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Take care.
See you guys.
Here we go.
Cool. There we go.
Yeah.